Alas, or Mexican soda. I drank you all.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 269th episode of the Angry Cuddles podcast. My name is Steven. With me, as always, is, you know what? I'm going to do it, is Sparkly Skin. Joining me today, I'm pushing back. Joining me today are Lycan, Byronic Commando, Chuck Porter. And joining me today at the end is Vlad the Impaler, Shark, who, again, dressed up fantastically, look kind of like Sergeant Pepper.
It's like a very dark Sergeant
If Sergeant Pepper were a vampire.
Do you not remember the movie Lost Boys where they actually had a similar vest? But thank you anyway, asshat. Fine, you know what? My undershirt says bitten, so we'll just go with that.
Your
Yes,
undershirt does says bitten on it also. No, but no, Shark, that you bother to dress for the podcast. I think I'm gonna start asking people to do that. Like maybe next year, maybe when we get our new studio set up.
Oh shit!
Like at least put on like some sort, and myself as well.
Something related
like,
to
too.
the theme.
No, it doesn't have to be themed, but just like you showed up. Like really, Chuck, you always dress fine.
I'm always classy.
Calvin kind of sometimes looks like he just got off like the wakeboard.
Calvin looks like he just rolled out of his college dorm bed.
Yeah, but today
Chuck should always wear what?
The outfit you're wearing right now.
This? I have a uniform now?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh,
why can I not get a job that doesn't require me a uniform?
Was this what you were wearing when we called you Chuckadile Dundee? Or did you had a hat too,
I had a
right?
hat.
There was a
Yes,
hat.
he had
Okay,
his
that's what it was.
fedora, proper fedora, not a trilby.
Ulfric says Chuck looks like a delicious blueberry. You do look delicious today, Chuck. So
I'm a blueberry.
what have you guys been playing lately? Before we roll into the news.
Finally finished Life is
I see.
Strange.
You did finish Life is Strange.
Yes.
So we're going to spend the next 30 seconds on spoilers. 3, 2, 1. What'd you do?
Spoilers.
Who'd you save?
Her.
Okay, me too. Like
we
after
were part
all
of the
that-
minority.
Yes,
we were part
the
of the minority.
overwhelming minority, actually, on that.
June, this headset that you see right here is compliments of this one right here.
Yes.
She made this for her own usage.
I actually had a Pikachu costume
And
at
then,
one point.
like what the first episode that she was officially part of the cast, she brought it and it was like, "Ooh, I gotta wear this."
And
then it just
DJ
kinda-
Pikachu was born.
It just
Yeah.
became a thing.
That was for sure.
I showed up with them as an extra set, and Chuck was like, I want to wear the thing. Let me wear the thing. I was like, okay.
What have you been up to, Shark?
I have been playing, let's see, I actually have a mobile game I've been playing lately, Shadow Wars.
Shadow Wars.
It's a little bit of a card game / puzzle game. You get monster cards that you have separate powers for. And then it's a kind of a puzzle like these brick smashing. You pick different puzzles and match them, colors and match them up. And then you can use however many you smash to do attack against opposing monsters.
Is it? Do you play NPCs? Do you play other people playing the game?
NPCs right now,
Okay.
they are actually working on having it so that you can attack other guilds.
Oh, that's cool.
That's how they do PvP in mobile games is guilds. You got to join a group and then it's PvP.
Yeah. I've been playing Mirror's Edge Catalyst this week.
How is it?
It's great. It is great. The EA's, I think it's EA's Frostbite engine that Dragon Age Inquisition was made on. The Battlefield 1, Star Wars Battlefront, that engine, fucking gorgeous. It's amazing. And
They've been using Frostbite for a while. And every
or a
game that they've
version
made
of it,
with
I think.
It's just
but it's
beautiful.
It's good. You it doesn't have the same sort of feel to it that the first one did in terms of the running and jumping. It's very smooth and fluid. It's very much like the first one. But because the first one was so unique, a lot of times you'd like make a jump and maybe your stomach would like pull in or do something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the cutscenes are gorgeous. The acting is good. It's not the best, but it's not bad.
Okay, the thing that drew me in the most about Mirror's Edge was for lack of a better term, the set design.
Yeah.
Like everything was this clear, clean, crisp, bright white.
Yes.
And then that made the colors, the bold colors, just pop out that much more.
Yes, that is carried over.
That is carried over.
And they have sort of different sort of colors, sort of schemes for different parts of town.
Okay.
So like the rich, hoity, the high caste part of town's like purple and like royal colors.
Okay.
The sort of under construction rezoning areas kind of like green or yellow and orange, and then the sort of starting area is mostly like white like colorless.
Yeah.
But that does carry over.
Okay, good.
So, and even though we were not actually able to have Mel from Two Lumps here
just showed
presently,
up.
she showed up in chat.
Hey, Mel. Thanks
it's
for
Marty
coming.
McFly, too.
And Marty McFly's back.
Hey!
Marty McFly is back.
All these
You,
people.
you caught us on the pregame warm-up here.
And Freezy.
That's what
Everybody,
that was.
if you're here, just fucking say hi, guys.
Hi.
Just say hello.
Hi.
So we have a couple of
Buenos dias.
bitchin' trailers to watch in the news before we move on to vampires. A shitload of trailers dropped last week. So we're going to pop up on the first one. And actually, hold on a second.
Little
It
momento, por
is
favor.
not. It is not participating with me today.
Yay!
Let me flip this.
It said fuck you.
About, and then we can roll.
All right, then we're gonna see. Is there no audio?
There is.
Oh, it's just very quiet.
Yeah, it doesn't come in through our headphones.
That grass is legit.
Listen to me. When the time comes, you gotta run and don't look back. This is over.
Please tell me we get to have posses in this one. Please tell me we get to have posses in this one.
So
I mean, if they're going to have a GTA Online,
that would be my guess.
It's gonna be
because
an
GTA
RDR
Online
online.
did real well. So this is what I want to do in Red Dead 2. Is I want to train heist. Like the old classic Western ride 'em up, jump on the train, hold 'em up kind of stuff.
Reach for the skies.
Yeah.
I want to be the posse that rounds your ass up.
June says, I love your outfit, by the way, Shark.
Aw, thank you, June.
And yeah, so there's not a whole lot other than essentially showing off the engine there. I mean, you can pick apart the trailer and grab a bunch of stuff for pull out things, and a lot of people have done that.
Are we gonna have
But-
goats still go up ladders?
Was that what happened in the first Red Dead Redemption? Like goats climbing ladders?
Yeah.
I don't remember that being a thing. Chuck, did you play the first one, right? And
Play the shit out of
Okay.
it. Yo, they made it backwards compatible. That is on my list of games to play on my stream.
what is something that you want out of that, out of 2? Do you want it to be post Marston, completely different story, family line beforehand,
I want it to be a completely different storyline.
set in the same world, but you don't need a Marston main character?
Yeah, because, I mean, John Marston's story has been told.
Right.
I mean, spoilers, 3, 2, 1. Homeboy is dead.
Yeah.
And you finish the last mission as his son a year later.
Right.
So, Marston's done.
Yeah.
Not only that, Red Dead Redemption was supposed to be the spiritual successor to Red Dead Revolver. Those two happened.
Did you
in the
play
same-
Red Dead Revolver?
Yes, it did.
Did you play like all the way through it?
Not all the way through it. It was a rental, but I did play it, and I wanted to play it all the way through. I was actually pretty impressed by it. I kind of liked it. So you get like those two worlds. They're part of the same world. It's just they're two different stories to tell.
Yeah.
And like if you have to tell the same.
Well, if it was so, Red Dead Revolver was a story. Red Dead Redemption was a second story set in the same world.
Mhm.
I mean,
Red
I
Dead
know-
Revolver was actually a series of stories that started to like intersect
Oh,
with
okay,
each other.
okay. Red Dead Redemption 2, if it continues either as a prequel or sequel to the Marston story,
I'm fine with that.
that's fine. But if it was a different story, they could have yet named it something different, like Red Dead Revolver, Red Dead Redemption, Red
Yeah,
Dead
Redemption
Reuse
2.
and Recycle.
Yeah.
They're just continuing to feed off the franchise
well, it's-
name. It usually brings people who are old fans back.
Well, now it's turning into like the Rambo thing, where it was First Blood Part 2, Rambo First Blood Part 2, and then Rambo 3.
And then it was like, oh, we probably should have called the first one Rambo. So
Yeah.
we'll just call it Rambo from here on out, right?
We should have called the first one Red Dead Redemption.
And the
Oops.
other debatably big trailer was this one. Enjoy.
The subtle penile reference of video game systems.
That guy has a beautiful home.
He's playing some sort of Zelda game, I think.
Yeah, he's playing the newest Zelda.
Okay, I was gonna say. It looks like grasslands. I'm thinking that's probably Link on a pony, because there's not too many pony Nintendo
Feed your
games.
dog, asshole.
I love this song.
No,
by
no,
the
his
way.
dog wants to go out and piss.
Was he playing at like 4 o'clock in the morning and now it's sunrise?
He's playing at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and now it's 7:30. If you woke up early in the morning, you might actually see these things.
Yeah, I don't like sunrises.
I don't either, but I still have to
Evil
look
Day
at
Because
Star.
it inevitably means that I've been up for 24 hours and not that I've just gotten up
Dog
early.
says, "Hey, listen." Bork, bork, bork. Hey, listen, human.
Hey, listen!
This guy's had quite a day. He must be a drug smuggler.
Or a cis admin.
Look at that Skyrim action.
I think he's probably a cis admin.
Are these different gentlemen?
Yes.
Oh, they are, because this man is shaved.
And also another
Who
sweet.
the fuck is babysitting his dog?
These are different people. I thought this when I first watched this, I thought it was the same guy, and I was like, where the fuck's he just jet setting like backpacking through Europe with his Nintendo Switch? Nintendo Switch. Now you can have a life, kinda.
You can have a life that revolves around us.
Oh wait, so you can actually do a multiplayer game with the half of the controller. That's kind of cool.
I had actually missed the part where it looked like they sort of linked two systems.
Yeah,
like
I had
that.
to watch it a second time.
That part
too.
was actually pretty fucking
like,
cool.
how are you going to get couch co-op on a tiny ass screen like that?
Right.
And it was like, oh, you get a second screen. You get a second console.
I wish we lived in a city where roof parties were a thing.
What I like,
Dude, I would dig roof parties at night.
right?
Fuck Texas daytime.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. In this one here, they're playing on the same screen with two controllers that came with the screen. They didn't need their own separate controllers. They didn't get their own separate screen.
Right.
They're playing it like Nintendo controllers. Look at that. They got the stick, and then you got X, Y, A, B, and they're over here playing Splatoon for some reason.
It's
I didn't think people cared
MLG,
that much.
man.
I didn't think anybody cared that much about Splatoon. And yet here they are, fucking World Series.
World Splatoon series, and now we get to watch the green team versus the orange.
Splat. Green team versus pink.
Oh, well then.
I'd go watch a Splatoon. I'd go watch just about fucking anything MLG in a big stadium like that, for the record. But so I guess it's sort of around the corner-ish. How do you guys feel about the Nintendo Switch here? So,
It's
Game
got a
Site-
real interesting name that makes me giggle.
Game Guy said, I don't care for this at all, really. Robotical Nick said on Twitter that he appreciated essentially that Nintendo continues to just do different shit with their system.
I think for me, this looks like a culmination of all the lessons that they learned from their various consoles over the past couple of years.
It looks-
Because
Frick
you
wants
see,
It looks a lot like they're trying to stop making just small systems as far as like, you know, the Game Boy Advance and things like that. It looks like they're trying to make it so that you can technically play on a TV at home as a quote-unquote big system, but you can also take it on the go for road trips and stuff and your noisy-ass kids in the back seat.
which
Right.
that's what they were trying to do with the Wii U, I thought, and they just didn't implement it.
Wait, because
properly.
you couldn't take that screen out with you, right? Like you still had to be in the 6 to 10 foot radius of the system, right? With
Yeah.
the Wii U with that screen. So imagine, I guess, a Wii U where you could take that screen with you literally anywhere.
What would be nice is if you were going to bounce the Switch's game into the big screen, then you would still have the small screen like
Yeah.
the Wii U tablet.
Game Guy says it's a tablet that can plug into a TV. Why is this special?
Because I haven't seen a
'Cause
tablet
it's
that can
got
plug into a TV
Nintendo on
in
it.
years.
And yeah, Marty
and
does.
it has like controllers on it.
Marty does mention that the anything that you see on there is going to be a video, a pre-rendered video. Those systems were probably not running those games.
Actors.
But
You
this
are
is
playing video games.
this is sort of the difference between my level of excitement. Is Skyrim was a generation ago, right?
Yeah.
So if that was Skyrim remastered, that's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Like, oh, okay, now this is a pretty powerful system that may be able to run essentially current gen games on tablet-sized hardware on the go, and we could easily system link and do multiplayers and
I'm
stuff like
just
that.
waiting to see what Nintendo's going to do besides Legend of Zelda, Mario, and more Pokemon.
Well, they have essentially had.
Because that's kind of what they're floating on right now.
I've been floating
Is
on that for
nostalgia.
15 years.
I totally missed Mel's comment. It is the game of 1,000 faces. A gamer has no name. That was good. Yeah. So if basically what I'm getting at is if it's current generation level of
We get it. You're a neophile.
Well,
That's fine.
But it like if they're gonna have the original version of Skyrim on there, like okay,
they're not
had
going to
this
have
for,
a
like,
special
6 years
edition
now.
unless they can get mods, man.
Well, for the third party support is supposed to be better than before.
You think
but
that dinky ass little tablet's going to be able to handle mod support?
So
Well-
let's progress to the other trailer because we're already almost 20 minutes in.
oh yeah,
That's true.
We've got a
Or
lot
else progress to
of cool shit
actual
for
vampires.
you guys as well. Yeah.
Yes, we do have to have the GOG. This is the only time that Ooga Chaka actually becomes a pretty epic song versus a silly ass one.
It's always silly. Is this basically the theme for Guardians of the Galaxy
Yes,
now?
Yeah.
yes.
Like, what happened to Spirit in the Sky?
I hate that fucking song.
It's
I hate
Ooga
this
Chaka.
fucking song.
Well, it sounds like you're gonna have to suck it up.
What? As if I haven't had to suck it up for the past 3 years?
What are you sucking up exactly?
I mean,
Two types of beings in
I
the
love the
universe.
soundtrack to the first movie, but
Yeah.
this is
And those who do
like
not.
there is still a level of overplayed.
There's a certain level of it that they're throwing in there so that it's instantly recognizable before you actually start seeing anything related to it.
You need a hug. No, I do not. Oh, I thought I said no. You're welcome.
I like jokes.
You make any jokes at him, it'll go right over his head.
Nothing goes over my head.
That was
Catch it.
Too fast.
far and away my favorite trailer from last week.
And that little fucking twig is just going to steal the show the whole time. I'm never going to hear the end of it. Never mind the fact that Kurt Russell is probably going to be playing Star-Lord's dad.
I got nothing to say about GOTG2 other than it's the best Marvel Cinematic franchise. Period. It's my favorite one.
Simply
And
because you want to be Star-Lord so badly.
No, it's simply because it is like the most auteur and the most.
Okay, explain Gamora then. Gamora basically serves
Taste
no
the
purpose.
rainbow.
No purpose to the plot. You could remove Gamora and the
Titties.
whole thing would have... Titties! There is one scene that if you had cut it out, it would have done absolutely nothing to plot progression.
Titties.
I'm not saying it's a perfect film. I'm saying it's.
You just got there saying it was auteur and it was the best series
Yes.
for Marvel by
It is.
far.
It is by far Marvel's best film, best made film, with James Gunn's vision for it.
James Gunn's amazing.
He
Yay, next trailer.
executed for it. Shark, I got this under control. I promise.
Bad song for this, I think.
What did you do?
I disagree again.
Charles, the world is
And
not
I know what
I'm
this
sorry.
is now.
I'm hating everything you love. You're good. I'm sorry. I'm redefining fun
We've
for you.
already done a comic on the fact that Steve-O likes all the terrible things in the world.
Today,
We had to put him out of his misery.
see if I still feel.
Old man Logan.
I focus on the pain.
Extremely old man Charles Xavier.
Only thing that's real.
We've all got to admit to ourselves that Patrick Stewart's going to be dumb.
No,
acting
they don't let you have
very much like you.
red, orange, or purple if they have to do any downstairs exams.
She needs our help.
You are
Someone will come along.
one
Someone has come along.
I am still right here.
And if you start watching
And you
now,
could have
then you can
it
pretend
all.
this is the Last of Us movie.
My empire.
With psychics.
I will let you down. I will make
Is that Draco Malfoy?
I was gonna say, it looks like Draco Malfoy.
I will,
Can somebody IMDb that shit? Is that Draco Malfoy?
I would find.
And then here, do we get to see it? Do we get to see it?
It's literally imdb.com.
You still have time.
Does he have the bone claws?
No, he has the steel claws.
They're not steel, they're adamantium.
Well, you get the fucking point.
So,
Anyway, I was hoping you were going to dig up the Red Band trailer that shows him putting his claws through a fucking dude's head.
the movie is R-rated, right? And it is the first R-rated film since, or it's the second R-rated film of Marvel's, the first since Deadpool. Am I right?
That kid does look like they have a hangover.
Right, wrong?
Yes.
I'm
Since Deadpool.
Right.
I'm sorry, I completely missed the question because
Have there been
R-rated-
any
R-rated
other
film. It's-
R-rated Marvel movies besides
But-
Deadpool?
no,
Well, this one
just Deadpool.
But this one is supposed to be R-rated, right? Which is
To
thus
my
the Red
knowledge,
Band.
There's a
trailers.
Red Band
Yeah,
trailer.
that's what I was gonna. Yeah. From One Tree Hill. Come on, that's Chad Michael Murray, says Crazy Cat.
because
Lady.
I watched One Tree Hill.
Well, she doesn't know what everything you've watched.
I'm
Do you have a list of everything you've watched for our viewers so that they know not to reference it in front of you?
I'm a boy. Let's start there.
You can actually start. I want to say that you can actually start an IMDb account and actually track the movies that you've seen.
All right, now
Mel says that kid
to
is
be
hungover
fair,
as hell.
To be fair, I've watched the entirety
She
of
had the
Gilmore
shitty
Girls,
sunglasses.
and I'm actually kind of looking forward to A Year in the Life. But no, I have not seen anything of One Tree Hill.
I
Right.
own exactly one chick flick, and that's it. I do not watch chick flicks or rom-coms.
So
I cannot stand them.
from last week, and you guys in the chat as well, of those four things, which of those four things are you most looking forward to? Are you looking forward to any of them, first of all?
I'm looking forward to every last one of them.
Yeah.
Like
For the most part, yeah.
I am excited to see these.
I don't
things.
really. I don't really get any riles up on the Red Dead Redemption, but I mean, I'll support other people enjoying it.
Yeah. What was the
I'm-
most exciting to you then, Shark? Do you prefer Nintendo Switch? Like, is that more exciting, or
As
was
far as
either of
consoles,
those-
I'm interested to learn more about the stats and what it's going to do as far as allowing play with things like Pokemon,
Yeah.
any of the past generation games.
Yeah,
What its
for sure.
ability is to
There won't be any
do on that, but yeah.
what's it?
Cross compatibility.
Cross compatibility, backwards compatibility, unless it's digital. So
You and your digital.
there's that.
I have
No.
issues with
I'm
that.
not. I'm not a huge fan of that because I don't want to have to buy it like for the
Twice.
third or fourth time. I'm fine buying something twice if I got to, but like bought for the DS, bought for the Wii U,
If
bought for
I
you
had
know.
an actual game, if I could actually sit down and scan like the UPC code, let me get it discounted. I'll
Yeah.
go for that. I would run with that.
Freezy says Guardians of the Galaxy. Marty says I hated Red Dead Redemption. He tried playing it, but it was too boring.
Why?
Interesting.
What's wrong with it?
Interesting.
Well, it's the same
Like-
way that I would sit there and try to watch Gilmore Girls and be like, oh my god, all these sassy ass bitches. I got better shit to do.
Sassy ass bitches.
Oh, and they get one in particular gets really bad.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Let's not and say we didn't.
I'm gonna hang that up. I'm gonna hang the chat up there so when we
Thank you.
video we can continue to see people typing.
Yes.
So let's now chat about vampires.
We're going to the
media.
main topic finally.
Into topic.
Half an hour into the show, we're finally into the main
Hey.
topic.
We got news to cover. We got games to talk about. All in due time. We got
In
no
1
rush.
hour time.
In no rush. We can go over if we're still talking about stuff. What is your favorite vampire period?
That's not a
Who?
fair question.
That's not a fair question to either of us because she can't name one without, stubbing a whole bunch of others, and
I can name all
I'm a
kinds of
werewolf.
vampires.
I'm not a fan of vampires.
I am aware of several werewolves. That's not my favorite genre, but
Do you
I
have
can
a-
talk about it.
Do you have a favorite actor who's portrayed a vampire particularly effectively? Gary Oldman.
I did like Gary Oldman's
You did enjoy Gary
interpretation.
Yeah.
I will say that as far as what Gary Oldman did, everybody who does any acting for vampires takes everything from Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
Because he started the whole, I never drink wine.
Ulfric says Lestat. Crazy Cat Lady says
Lestat de Lele-
Edward Cullen. And just afraid. No, I'm with you, Crazy Cat Lady. It's okay to like things.
It's okay to like things.
It's okay to like things. Don't tell me it's good, but you can like it. That's fine. Brad Pitt, an interview with the vampire. I only saw about 10 minutes of Interview with the Vampire, so I'm gonna say Kirsten Dunst.
I've never seen Interview with a Vampire.
Really?
Seriously.
Anne Rice?
Yep.
Are you fan? Are you a fan of Anne Rice books? Yeah. And Ulfric as well.
Yes.
Anne Rice, favorite.
Extensively. He's actually reading the newest Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles books.
Who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite vampire author?
I do like the way that Anne Rice does her work as far as
Cassidy.
vampires.
Yes!
Cassidy from the Preacher comic series. Mel Hein.
But
Chuck just did his happy
I
dance.
completely forgot he was a vampire. Thank you, Mel. I'm so sorry. Especially since Steve Dillon died over the weekend. It
I
broke
know
my
he
heart.
did.
June says Damon and Stefan from the Vampire Diaries. What about
See,
True Blood? Anybody True Blood fans?
The thing is,
while we're on TV stuff.
a little bit. I also like Spike from the Buffy the Vampire series.
Spike. Yeah,
He is pretty
That's
fun.
a classic.
He's hysterical. Really, I kind of look at all vampire series and see where things are brought in from the mythos, and look at the different things that have changed from different vampires, because the idea of vampires, since we've modernized it, actually becomes more of a melting pot where you can reach in and pick out the different flaws and powers that you want for it, and then go from there and make your own vampire species per each series that people will still recognize as a vampire.
Yeah. Do you feel that vampire media tends to reference other vampire media fairly readily?
Absolutely.
Okay, that was like as a genre, it seems to. There seems to be a lot of crosstalk there, which is not a bad thing. What was that vampire flick with from Boondock Saints? Willem Dafoe?
Oh, that was a remake
Yeah.
of the original Nosferatu movie, which was actually a ripoff of Bram Stoker's
No,
Dracula.
actually, I was thinking of the other one, but that one as well.
Yes.
What other one?
Daybreakers. Yeah, Daybreakers.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
You remember
about that one
one?
with Ethan Hawke in it.
Yes, that's right.
Daybreakers was kind of fun, too.
which actually ripped off a different webcomic of a different name, where the vampires were trying to save the last humans.
June says, "Don't make that face, Chuck. I'll bash you." Come get him, June. Come hang out. You can bash Chuck right in the face.
Absolutely, Mel. It is a melting pot. Vampires is a mythology that we all pick and choose. Because, let's take for reference a vampire that everyone knows, the Count from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
He is
Yes.
one of the few modern vampires that actually has a very antique vampire trait, which is to count things. One way that they would actually distract vampires from attacking them would be to cast out a handful of seeds, and the vampire would have to stop and count it.
Matches.
Or,
Interesting.
Matches.
or a knotted cord or a knotted net, because the vampire would have to stop and undo all the nets.
So I thought like Count was a title, like Duke or
It is a
something like that.
title.
And so, but I didn't know that there was a counting aspect to the vampire thing as
There
well.
is.
But the
That is some seriously old mythology stuff. And
but now
actually
I
the
think I want to do a webcomic. I think it just inspired a webcomic now where the Count, where they're like, "Count, we need you to come. What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, 3 pints of blood. And then like Ernie's dead.
I'm surprised somebody hasn't done that already.
I'll throw that out there next week or a week after next, guys.
But what we actually see, the romantic, suave, pale, handsome, or beautiful vampire, is not the actual mythology what they feared in the Middle Ages. Because the Middle Age vampire was actually what appeared to be a bloated, ruddy corpse.
Okay.
30
it would
Days
actually
of
be
Night.
fat.
The one that you mentioned earlier, the film you mentioned earlier, the other Willem Dafoe one, was
Shadow of the
the
Vampire?
Vampire.
Yes.
John Malkovich.
Yep.
Yeah, that movie is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's a good ass movie, guys. Go like week leading into Halloween. go watch that. Like, my pick is Shadow of the Vampire. Go watch that. Go
Yes.
find it somewhere and watch
Mel
it.
Hines is correct about that. There's actually a specific type of Japanese, or not Japanese, Chinese vampire that is affectionately referred to in English as the hopping vampire. They're rigor mortis and they hop. And originally it would be that the monks would have them hop back to their homeland because their families were too poor to afford to bury them in their home.
I thought they hopped
Interesting.
because they were tied to their post, and then they had to poke
Rigor.
on the host. Okay.
Rigor.
So that my recommendation is Shadow of the Vampire leading up to Halloween. What about Underworld? Like, that's
I enjoy
a
the
pretty
Underworld series.
popcorny kind of a...
Very.
But still, at least the first one, I remember being like a solid action film.
Oh, yeah.
As far as action films go.
A dark action film.
Do you like the vampirical lycanthropic renditions in that film?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Especially the werewolves, because the werewolves look like a biker gang, which is precisely what they would be: rough and ruddy and just gritty and grimy, but they still travel together.
Yes, it goes off a lot of essentially taking some roots from White Wolf campaigns as far
Right.
as the actual werewolves.
Yeah. So what, in terms of comics, can you think of vampire...
Blade.
30 Days of Night.
30 Days of Night.
And
That's
Blade.
another one. Blade, for sure. Marvel.
Buffy the Vampire and Angel also have their own comic book series as well.
So this is something that I can't, so forgive me. Sorry, June's comment distracted me, so I guess I'll read it.
I don't
hey,
know.
Blueberry, do you taste good?
Crystal,
Let's
does Blueberry
poll
taste
the
good?
audience. Zizan, is that how you would pronounce?
I would say Shizan.
Shisan. Guy in the middle. Are you a Pikachu or a Raichu?
Yes.
Well, he's
Pikachu is yellow,
he's
Raichu
DJ
is more
Pikachu,
gold.
So, yeah, I'd give him a Pikachu. But also, Shisan, thank you for joining us. If you guys are watching and haven't yet, feel free to follow us by clicking the heart button at the bottom of the screen and check out our social media right at the top of the screen. Game Guy gave me a brilliant Chuck point earlier, a little
I
image.
made it.
and
I
I'm
made
gonna-
it my Twitter.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start using that because that was
and
really awesome.
actually,
I'm not going to be able to do it this time because I'm supposed to be sitting right here,
Right.
but instead I'm sitting right here.
Vampirella.
Vampirella was brought up as well.
Vampirella is also one as well.
30 Days of Night as a film, though, kind of scared the shit out of me.
It's supposed to.
Well, I mean, but it was... A lot of horror movies don't really affect me all that much, and this didn't have that lasting effect. It was just like a creepy kind of like, ooh. Like, one of the lines, I think, and I may be butchering it, is he's like, somebody says, oh God, or oh dear God, or oh my God. And he says,
God? No. No God.
yeah, or no God here, right?
I thought it was just no God.
Yeah, something like that. But that was really good.
The one that got me in 30 Days of Night was what can be broken must be broken before he just destroyed a fellow vampire.
Well, what's his name? Hartnett, right?
Yeah.
It has a really video gamey kind of ending.
It does.
Where he's like, well, I'm just going to use my ultimate power and kill them all. You know, becomes a vampire and then goes on a killing spree. And it was excellent. Is that a picture of Chuck on a vampire? Yes, sir. Right away, sir. That's wonderful.
Yes,
That's
you
wonderful, guys.
just got Bela Lugosi'd.
Vertigo did American Vampire. Thank you, Mel.
Yes, we also had American Vampire.
Pull the string.
And was Buffy a comic before it was a movie? Before it was
Nope.
a series? It
Movie
was a
came
film
out in like
first.
92.
And
It actually
show
had
came out in,
it
like,
had a
94?
movie first, and then there
And then
was
the series,
the
yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar series.
yeah, I remember the movie coming out. Was Whedon one of the writers on the film, or did he take the film? And
I am currently unaware of that, but I can find out.
did anybody out there can
Fast
know?
Unpaid Research Department.
Yeah, go for it,
IMDb
researchers.
go.
June mentions my blue is fading. Yeah, actually it is, but it's been a month since I've done it, so this is the longest it's
that's
ever
actually really
held.
good.
As long as ever. So we're gonna shift to video games a little bit, but continue to tell us about really cool some of your favorite vampire shit. One of the first video here that I have is from
Blood Rain.
From Blood Rain, yeah. I forgot to look at the time, so I can pull it up here. But the thing that I loved about Blood Rain is that
Yeah, I know precisely where you're going.
this was the first console game that audibly used the word fuck. and this sort of was like blew open the gates to the sort of what I would call the R-rated games. And it wasn't even that long ago. I mean, it was 10 or 15 years ago. But I guess since games have only been around for 30-ish years or something.
I pick up all these weapons at once.
Yes, and Mel Hines just said that Joss Whedon did write the original film.
Okay,
Or
yeah,
was it the
I
Vampire
thought that.
Well, it must have been one of his first.
So, Blood Rain was like just a wacky third-person action game where you're a vampire, you shoot stuff, you slash stuff.
She's actually not a
feed on
vampire,
them.
she's a half.
She's
vampire.
half, that's right.
Dumb pew.
That's right. But I loved this game, and I played the shit out of the second one, too. As far as, I mean, it's
Hi,
old
baby.
looking
What will the
now.
neighbors
It's
think?
pretty dated, but
Oh,
I
wait.
remember this game being pretty solid. Am I
We'll
wrong?
not talk about the movies and the two movies that it.
Fuck
Thank
Uwe
you.
Boll.
It had 3 movies, and the last
Yeah,
2 went
3.
straight to DVD.
All I have to say is fuck Uwe Boll.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. I think the line's coming up.
Do you think that actually the line's coming?
I remember
I'll
this.
play for a little bit. Got Legacy of Kain, says Ulfric, and I actually have some Legacy of Kain to show in a little bit.
It does look like she's flogging them with her pigtails.
Yeah.
But
this was-
That nun has garter belts. That's kind of hot.
Right?
Did you play Blood Rain? Either of them, Chuck?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't?
How do you think I know what's coming up?
Killing Nazis, was that in the second one, or was that in this one too?
I think it was in both. 'Cause
in
I
both?
remember killing Nazis in the first one.
Okay.
Killing
They
Nazis.
built that wall
Yeah.
for nothing.
Nazis.
I'm going to see
But,
what else I can find in those books. You should
I
take
just
out
remember this
those
being a very solid
biomasses.
action game. Like,
The first ones
it's not
in the
anything
graveyard.
transcendent.
Yeah, her
Only
face
just
is
solid
kind
action
of
Standard
stupid. It looks like
action.
they went to go with an Asian face, but it didn't turn out
Did
well.
she just like ninja vanish?
Yep.
She's like,
All
Yes,
right.
we also going both on video game console and tabletop. Vampire the Masquerade.
Yep, and I'm gonna have some of that to show you as well. This is one of the first ones here. Castlevania.
While it is not the first vampire game, it is one of the most iconic.
Yeah. And as far as NES games go, this was probably what, one top 10?
Nintendo.
look at that pimp walk.
Wagga wagga.
He is walking very confidently.
Oh yeah.
Is this
I'm gonna destroy members of the undead.
forgive me for not knowing this. What's the name of the main character in this Castlevania?
This is Simon.
This is Simon. Okay.
Simon Belmont.
And the second one was
Simon-
Simon's Quest.
Simon's Quest was also Simon, and in Castlevania 3 was Trevor, his grandfather.
Right. Every Castlevania, are the vampire hunters in the same family?
Yes.
Yes.
They are.
I mean, that's the Belmont wit, dude. Nice throw. Holy shit, I've never seen anybody place a holy water that well.
This was something that Shark found that I thought was.
It actually gives
really
you
cool
a
exercise
timeline
in
of
bringing
when the different Castlevania games were taking place.
And yeah, so here we go.
Dawn of Sorrow, Castlevania 3.
There's a couple missing here
Curse of
actually.
Darkness, the Castlevania Adventure of Sophia.
I don't
Who's the
see
first female Belmont.
Lords of Shadow.
Castlevania Chronicles.
Did you like Lords of Shadow, by the way, the Kojima game?
No.
Well, and to be fair, Castlevania has a total of 42 associated games.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fucking lot there.
It's Castlevania
But I like that they have the
1,
years there, so like 18. This goes all the way back to
Castlevania 2.
1094 and then to the future. But,
Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance.
I like
think?
Super Castlevania 4. I
Yes.
Super
loved
Castlevania
that
was
one.
cool.
Yes,
I
Game
really
Guy,
like
I will
Believe it or
agree with
not-
you. Castlevania soundtracks are fantastic.
For sure.
Oh yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yes.
Oh, well,
Castlevania
Symphony of the Night is the one that everybody raves about as the typically the
Yes.
best game,
and then
right?
the one that everybody hates.
is the
remember you were
64 one?
remember you were asking about a game that is inherently objectively bad, but I still
That you still love it?
Bam.
Really? Which one of those? There's Legacy
they're,
of Darkness or Castlevania 64?
they're both the same one. Because Legacy of Darkness, you start out as Cornell, the werewolf,
Mhm.
and then when you finish his game, you unlock Castlevania 64. But Castlevania Legacy of Darkness came out before Castlevania 64. So all you got was, I can't remember his name, but he's another Belmont. And then there's this little girl magician thing, and she, the two of them.
That is some
are that story.
fantastic trivia, Mel Hines.
Yeah, I was about to read that out. Mel says, I only found out the other day that one of the Bloodlines plot lines is a direct ripoff of a Richard Matheson story from the original trilogy of terror. So there you go.
Fantastic.
There you go. The next
There
one...
is no new creation, only finding a way to
Piggyback
plagiarize.
successfully.
Yeah. So Legacy of Kain has a very like the game's been around for a while.
The game has been out for a while, but it was still pretty damn bloody back in the day.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to climb to the window? Move on. It's done.
Finding gameplay from the internet. I never played a Legacy of Kain game. Is it a third-person action game?
Yes.
There were 3
Are there
of them.
platforming elements to it,
Kinda.
or is it mostly exploration and killing?
It's mostly exploration and killing, but occasionally you had
There
a jumping
is
puzzle.
plot line.
Okay.
The first and third game were
Kick his
Kain,
ass for Jesus.
and then oh wow, or not Kain, but Raziel. You're watching Raziel right here. This is Legacy of Kain 3, and then Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver was the second one. That was Kain.
And
That was Raziel.
What?
Yes.
I'm getting it mixed up.
Which one was the first one that came out? It was Legacy of Kain on
Legacy of
PS1,
Kain.
right?
Yeah.
It's like a PlayStation game. Yeah. And
This was also the one that you couldn't swim because as soon as you touched water, you burned.
no swimming.
No
Vampires historically cannot cross water because the water will actually propel the corpse out of it. Because when you put dead things in water, they float.
Are you a
Like
fan
ducks.
of the Legacy of Kain series? Is it something that needs to come back?
I don't know. I don't remember
I'm sure
feeling anything one way or the other.
I'm sure
No.
we're due for a remake just because it's fun to reuse things.
Mel says it's a lot of nut shots in regard to the video. Yeah, that aerial juggle, it looks pretty OP.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Ulrich says, yes, Legacy of Kain needs to come back. That game is fucking amazing. The stories and stuff, like an engaging plot line in Legacy of Kain.
I don't remember.
Did it sort of do
I
what
would have to
Castlevania
go
did,
back.
where it sort of follows through like a family or anything like that?
Legacy of Kain is following essentially the vampires, and he's very selfish and all these other things. And he actually, because we actually have the Soul River game, because he took one of his right-hand men and was like, no, you're like looking better than I am and being more powerful, so I'm going to smite you because I'm a vain bastard.
Okay, so Legacy of Kain needs to come back, for sure. And let's see, Freezy says something, all vampires are
Vamp life.
also witches, and Mutiny Teddy says vamp life.
Actually, if you go into the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, vampires tend not to like magic because magic usually involves a lot of life force.
Mm-hmm.
And since they lack life force, or they are actually undead, it tends to go a little wonky around them.
Gives them a complex.
It makes the magic not quite work the way
You're
it's supposed
stronger
to.
than I am.
Um,
I don't like that.
there were a couple of
But then we also had Drusilla, who could do some magic
yeah.
and was a bit of a seer.
There's a couple of notable DLC entries that have utilized vampires as well. And the first one is from a game that we mentioned earlier today, and it is called Skyrim. This is from
I've never
Dawnguard.
heard of this game before.
And
I've actually seen Ulfric playing the Skyrim expansion that includes the vampires, and it's pretty friggin' awesome.
So you could become a Lord Vampire in
Yes,
this
you
DLC, and this is sort of what altered the game from the, from Skyrim's main game, is that you could basically go into this limit break, OP, crazy,
You could do
shit.
that with a werewolf too.
You could do that in the main game with the werewolf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now you have a powerful vampire to parallel the werewolf, I guess, then. That's a good point. Meant to you because you're a...
Like it
you're
all the
like a
way,
guy,
baby.
Right? Did you ever play the DLC for this?
It's a fair cop.
Not yet.
Um,
It's such a huge game, and then they made 2 new
It's-
campaigns for the DLC. It was like, hey.
Mutiny Teddy says, I was watching Blade 2 and I totally didn't know Norman Reedus, the guy from Walking Dead, was in it.
Yep.
I had no idea. I know Norman Reedus from Boondock Saints. I do not know and Walking Dead.
Werewolves
But-
may be stronger, however, vampires have a lifetime that gives them the chance to plot over centuries.
Who
and
wants to live
manipulate
forever
things.
when love must die?
So, real quick then, let me ask you guys. Martin McFly says werewolves are so much stronger. If you were offered the vampire
Yes.
transformation, would you take it?
Yep.
Get any yes? Audience is saying yes. Audience saying no. I'm just saying in this current world, like you don't have any idea if lichens exist or they don't.
I don't don't care.
But if a vampire offers you the vampire turn, do you take it as of today, as of right now?
Yes, because I don't actually have to go outside the house to go get anything. I can order everything on Amazon and step outside whenever it's dark.
Yeah, that's true. But are you saying that? What are you saying? Explain.
I know who and what I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not fit as a vampire. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They've got cool powers, like charming and...
Is charming a power, or is it more a cultural...
Vampire charm is definitely a power.
That's
It's
like an
definitely a power.
inherent, notable power?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that was more of a cultural, like...
No, it is literally vampires have the ability to thrall you.
So if there's like kind of a nerdy, like... maybe not nerdy is the right word, but let's say sort of an awkward kid who doesn't have a lot of charm to him and he becomes a vampire, he will inherently be charming at that
Have you
point?
never seen the original Fright Night?
No.
There's also a
I've
B
seen
movie.
The Frighteners.
There's also a B movie called My Best Friend's a Vampire, where he actually has a book teaching him things, and he's working on learning how to use that vampire charm.
Oh, Mutiny Teddy actually brings up another DLC, the Infamous 2 DLC
yes,
with the
Melheim,
vampires.
you
What the
are
shit
O
was it?
negative. You would be super tasty.
As it come at me, Vamp Bro, says Mel. Yes, would take it. Ulrich has, yes, Vampire Charm is a hypnotic thing. Game Guy says, I barely want to live now. Why would I want to be immortal? Yeah, I would.
Sad sack bastard.
I would absolutely want to be immortal. That's not even, like, I don't even have to think about it. I would be like, yep, sign me up.
Well-
What do I got to do? Who do I got to vampire blow?
Okay, so we have some
whatever.
Witcher
They have to bite
stuff.
you, yo.
Yeah. But yes, we do have more
there
DLC.
DLC from The Witcher.
Yeah.
Which one?
Witcher
3.
3. And this is the Blood and Wine DLC. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to induce a blood rage in the vampire who's in the cage there. And so they're summoning monsters to get the place all bloody so that Regis will kind of go insane and they can
I need blood.
use that.
Give me blood. I need to be hungry.
But the
Blood juice.
the vampires in this game in Witcher 3 are fucking awesome because they're versus like the vampire lord of Skyrim. They're more like agile. They have sort of like long claws, sort of Wolverine-ish, and do a lot more sort of fluid, flippy kind of combat.
If you're asking me about mythology on vampires, I can tell you different parts on why they exist and different things. Each culture, regardless of whether we admit or not, has their own form of vampire.
Right.
Even religion references both Cain and Lilith as being vampires.
So
Did you actually find video on Vampire Rain?
okay, so yeah, this is what I'm. The reason I usually have this turned is so you guys don't start calling out shit before I can put it up. But yes, I did. So Vampire Rain is
No,
another
they
game.
need to know about this beforehand so
And-
they can look away.
Let me tell you something about Vampire Rain. Besides the fact that it sucks, is that it sucks. It's so bad. It's so bad that when I was trying to find something to show for the game,
Is this like the one Resident Evil get your sweet ass down here?
No,
No,
it was Splinter
that'd
Cell with
be
vampires.
it's sort of like Splinter Cell, sort of like Metal Gear with vampires, and that may be splitting hairs here, but you'll actually see like the sort of the Metal Gear reference here, but that I'm about to show you guys. The thing is when I was going through video after video, it was boring as fuck. It was like literally a dude climbing on a pipe and ladder for like 40 minutes.
Yep.
And just holy shit. So this here is a sampling of a game for the 360 called Vampire
This
Rain.
is for the 360? This is ugly as shit.
I know.
Oh my god. It looks like it came out for late PlayStation 2 at best.
It looks like it might have been the N64.
It's
Oh.
Maybe.
this is garbage game.
Oh.
Did he, like, from 6 feet away, kick a puddle?
So the idea here is
I'm gonna
that
kick a fence. I'm gonna kick the iron fence.
the rain dampens the vampire senses because there's so much noise and stuff going on. It's hard for them to smell them and all that
Well,
stuff.
yes, the water makes
There's
sense.
the Metal Gear,
Wow.
right? Like literally the graphic with a different color.
Wow.
But it's a lot of walking around. It's a lot of walking around. The game is essentially walking around, and every now and then you shoot a vampire. is looks excited. It's called Vampire Reign for 360. Marty McFly goes, "This game looks innovational."
I mean, the only GameStop that stays open till 10 is going to be closed by the time we get home. We can look it up tomorrow after you get off work.
No, you do not want this in your search engine, man. You do not want it in your search history at all.
Hey,
This is worse than having like
Chrome
gay tentacle porn in your
Chrome
Google
has
search.
incognito mode. The only people who can see that is your service provider.
Right, that's true.
But I don't know if you want to let them know that you look at that stuff either.
Altered Species on PS3 was also trash, says Mutiny Teddy. Yep. I didn't play Altered Species, but I totally get that. GameStop will probably pay you to take this game, says Mel.
Please get it
out of our fucking
Please.
site. And this is one that mentioned earlier. This is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. And I get a lot of sort of Deus Ex-y kind of... Deus Ex-y? Yeah. Deus Ex-ish kind of gameplay where there's like conversation choices. I mean, it's an RPG. It's a first-person RPG, essentially, with sort of third-person
It has some
elements as well.
first-person with third-person elements. For a good number of years, the software team actually worked on patching a lot of the bugs and stuff and helping clean up the game because there's just issues that they ran out of time to fix, and they continued to add to the game after it was released so that it would actually be better.
So who has played Bloodlines and who enjoyed it?
I mean, like on tabletop, but
Mutiny says Masquerade wasn't all bad. Yeah, wasn't all bad. Did you ever play this one, Chuck?
Nope.
No. This was a PC.
It looks
it was a PC game.
That's why I didn't play it because I never played PC games.
Right. Yeah. But this is something that I could probably
and
get
out of
into.
all the different clans that they had available, there were a total of 7 different vampire clans, each having different bonuses and minuses to different things. And the fun thing about Vampire the Masquerade, just the series in general, the different vampires take different aspects of vampire mythology.
Yeah. Mel says, I loved it. Best soundtrack ever. Marty McFly says, played it. Amazing game. Mutiny mentions that it's got a cult following now. And
It
I
does have
sort
a
of
cult
thought
following.
that might be the case, actually.
There are people that still do updates to the skins and patches.
Right. So, as I was looking through vampire games, and there's some notable exceptions, and the DLC has been decent, I guess. Witcher 3 was pretty good.
A lot of what you see is either something that is a solid, these are vampires in this game, or you'll have a one-off random character in there that's a vampire.
It's almost always a
such
one-off.
as with Darkstalkers, there's 2 to 3 different vampires. You have the jumping Chinese ghost.
Yeah.
You
Cool.
have an actual vampire, Maximoff, and then you have D, who is a half-blooded vampire.
But what I'm noticing, and what I noticed when we were looking up games and stuff, is that there hasn't been one recently.
No.
There hasn't been a vampire game recently, and so what I was going to ask was, you can
expect that probably once we have the next Underworld movie come out, there's going to be some more vampire games.
Well, they already have like a card game on mobile, if you want to count that.
But like, so I was going to ask him,
Mobile card games do not interest me.
because zombies, we've had the discussion, are zombies played out, and there's essentially, yeah.
As of recently,
But vampires,
yes.
I was going to ask you guys that, but they haven't, though. I mean, I don't think anybody would say that we've seen too much vampire shit, have we?
I would.
In terms of gaming?
No, actually not in terms of gaming.
In terms of gaming, it seems a shallow pool.
But that might be why we haven't seen a whole lot in gaming, is because in other aspects it has been played out, like movies. We have an AC pod. Wow, I just lost the microphone. We have an AC podcast prep page. It's a private page on Facebook, and in that we do all the research for the episode during the week, right? And then when we were starting to talk about notable vampires in different media, the movie page lit up. Just a bajillion movies.
There's a million vampire movies, and one of the classics.
Well, and some of that is that it's just a solid vampire movie. It is specifically about vampires, and some of it is that it has vampire characters.
Do you, in terms of film, then, do you prefer the film to be about vampires, or for the vampires to be the secondary characters?
I like. I can. It depends on the film. It depends
Okay.
on the cinematography. It depends on the plot, and it depends on the acting.
God damn it!
Because something that includes like the cult B movie, which actually came from I want to say Norwegian, was What We Do in the Shadows. It's essentially a faux documentary about vampires
Okay, yeah.
who flat together and they go out and do things, and they're
What about-
horribly awkward and it's hysterical.
Dark Shadows. Isn't that the name of it? The film
Yeah.
that was based on the old TV show?
Yes.
Johnny
Yeah,
Depp? He
that
was a
was a
vampire.
very-
now,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, he was a vampire.
That was
Also,
one of
R.I.P.
the-
to Sam's Bird, by the way, which is what that yell was, just so you guys are aware.
He's
Yeah.
playing
He was
Ark
playing
over
Ark,
here.
and that was what that was.
uh,
1886, The Order. PS4 game.
PS suck.
And it was
That game
just a movie, wasn't it?
Pretty much. And it was not even a good movie at that.
It was just essentially a cutscene. Some of the full chapters of the game were pure cutscene.
Yeah.
Like, Kojima doesn't even have the balls to do that. Doesn't even have the balls to make
I don't
the
know.
full
Have you
chapter
played
cutscene.
MGS2?
Yeah, that yell that you heard was my roommate. And Sam from the stream team, who, again, just lost his bird.
Wave high from off camera.
But the...
Or not. Because you're too pissed off about losing
as
your
we
bird.
as we wind up, guys, I want to remind you that next week we are off. So have a great Halloween. We're gonna
Monday is Halloween.
yes,
so
next Monday's Halloween. So go do something awesome.
spooks and goblins and all those funny things.
I might periscope a little bit. You know, if you have a hole in your heart from missing our podcast. The next podcast after that, though, in 2 weeks, we're going to talk about costumes, skins, and character outfits, and some of our favorite ones, and stuff like that. And if you guys want to dress up, you totally can.
Oh, I believe I will.
And if you guys want to dress up as well, June knows that we're winding down, so she's yelling, "Oh no!" That's why June gets upset if we stream for less than an hour and a half.
Well, and I still do want to throw a thank you out to Mel Hines, who did try to show up tonight, but unfortunately had things happen at the house. So thank you for
Yes.
at least showing up on chat with us.
Mel in the chat does a webcomic called Two Lumps, and you guys can look that up on Facebook and online. Is it just
It's about
twolumps.com?
Twolumps.net,
.net.
actually.
Cat.
Twolumps.net. So go check out Mel's webcomic as well while you're sitting there and while we're doing the fan can. And we will have Mel on again to talk about her webcomic and stuff on a future podcast.
Yes,
Should
and
she
Mel,
want to.
Mel is a fantastic female gamer. She does a lot of the puzzle games and different things.
June says, "Why are you doing this to me?" The last thing that we do on the podcast before we call it a night is we go to the can. This is the Angry Cuddles fan can. This contains questions from the audience asked on Twitter. You guys can ask us anything you want. You can do it in the chat because you're sitting there. But during the week, if something pops into your head and you want us to answer it on the podcast, just tweet us and use the hashtag FanCan. So I'm going to pull something out here. This is from Robotical Nick on
Oh, God.
Twitter. He asks, if the podcast were a person, describe going on a first date with Angry Cuddles.
Wow, they would be on so much fucking medication I could
They
not
would-
even explain. We get so... They would have ADOS so bad. Attention deficit. Ooh, shiny. Ooh, shiny. Squirrel.
You would have one conversation with 3 different people, and depending on when you stopped talking, you would have no idea who of the 3 you were talking to.
Yeah, so I'm trying to create a personality amalgam of Shark, Chuck, Calvin, Will, and myself. And it's essentially a personality explosion shotgun up your ass.
Don't forget Jables, too.
And JB's on the stream team, and Sam's on the stream team. If we want to throw in Haley and Lauren from the webcomic artists, we'll be the most powerful human being on the planet, and we would subjugate you. The first date would be complete subjugation. And the beginnings of an unholy army of the night. There's your answer.
Yes, we
Robotical
would
Nick.
have multiple personalities that occasionally randomly
Kerwin.
fight for control.
Thanks for coming. Guys, for the rest of the year, our giveaways are not going to be on the first Monday. The giveaways will be anytime we get a new follower. So if you haven't yet, click the follow button at the bottom of the screen. We have games. We have Gears 4 DLC packs.
Mel's right. You
giveaway.
would be dating
You'd
an orgy.
dating an orgy. Who wants to go on a date with an orgy? When we return, we'll talk about costumes and outfits. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up in November. The second karaoke challenge is in November, so prep for that, guys. My name is Steven.
My name is Chuck.
I'm Shark.
And if you guys want to check out the other Angry Cuddlers, you can. If you have a crush on Chuck, you can go to Byronic Commando on Twitch or at Byronic Commando on Twitter. If you have a crush on Will, you can go to at Will Roth Music on Twitter, MoonlightNative.com for his band. If you have a crush on Shark, you can go to HedgyHates.com, webcomic. And also, brief moment of silence for Boo.
Weh.
We miss Boo.
Yes, I do.
I had a sad.
We had a sad,
I
for
had a
sure.
sad.
The webcomic is coming back, yes?
Yes, we had our first return comic earlier today.
Okay, fantastic.
Because I usually launch at midnight, but I launched at 3 o'clock.
Someone just made a brilliant imager using Chuck.
Oh, goodness.
Shark, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad that the webcomic is back.
Aw, thank you
And
so
all
much.
the love to you and Boo as well. And if you have a crush on Cal and...
Who doesn't
Who
really?
doesn't? Corporate Cal on Twitch and at Corporate Hobbs on Twitter. Guys, go get your crush on, and we will stream this week. I'm off work this week, so you're going to see me streaming a lot. So
Half vampire,
we'll see you guys next time.
half lichen. Stronger than both.
Bill Nye was a really